This is 92.7 in Living Stereo. And I'm live on Facebook. Yes, and our page is 3FM 92.7. And that is your urban lifestyle radio. Please share this broadcast. Today we have something very crunchy to talk about. Here we do not ever criticize, but if we must criticize, we will not shy away from that for just one reason: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. Nobody is bigger than the truth. My brother, my sister, and of course, right here from the newsreel, we always endeavor to keep it real. Now, the very first thing I want to look at today is taken from Peace FM Online, and it says, and I read, Ochini calls for action on medical brain drain. I read, Ochini Osajifu Amwetia Oforipenyin has expressed concern over the rate of medical brain drain in Ghana. Speaking at the 2023 retreat for the medical superintendent group in the Eastern region under the theme Enhancing Hospital Management Systems and Improved Healthcare Delivery, the Ochini opined that the phenomenon of medical personnel leaving the shores of Ghana in search of greener pastures on a daily basis has a devastating consequence on the nation's health system. Osajifu Amwetia Oferipenyin hinted that in 2019 Ghana had about 3,236 medical doctors attending to a population of about 30 million, making the doctor-patient ratio far below any acceptable standards. He said a 2015 study showed that the number of African-trained international medical graduates practicing in the U.S. alone reached a staggering 13,584, equivalent to about one African-educated physician migrating to the U.S. per day over the last decade. He said that the studies further showed that 86% of all African-educated physicians working in the U.S. were trained in Ghana, Egypt, Nigeria, and South Africa. The sad aspect of this is that the beneficiary destination countries do not pay for the cost of training of African doctors. They recruit 1 in 10 doctors working in the UK. This means that the UK saves an average of $2.7 billion on training costs. This is a big loss to our country. Osajifu Amwetia said. My brother, my sister, let us look at this one analytically. This is the chief of Chebi, and he's speaking. He's saying that the rate at which trained health professionals leave this country is alarming, especially medical doctors. He said statistics show that over the last decade, almost every day, at least one doctor from Africa exited the continent heading towards the UK or even America. He said that the ratio of doctor to patient in Ghana is at a staggering low and is very, very much unacceptable around the world. My brother, my sister, I need you to underline that. When we say the doctor-patient ratio, we are only talking about how many doctors attend to a patient or how many doctors attend to patients. In that ratio, one doctor is to how many patients? How many doctors do we have as compared to the number of patients that have to be attended to by each doctor? That is what is meant by the doctor-patient ratio. It's terrible. In America, the ratio is 1:5. In America, the ratio that is referred to as the doctor-patient ratio, 1:5. In other words, one doctor sees 5 patients on the average. In Ghana, we can't even try it. Now, when we spend so much money training professionals, the UK sits down without contributing anything to the development of these doctors. America sits down without contributing anything to the training of these professionals. And when the professionals are done with their training, they run to these countries that never contributed a jack in their training. That is what Oforipenyin Amwetia is talking about. Brain drain. The UK is saving more than 2.7 billion American dollars every year when it comes to training our doctors here. In other words, the doctors that run away from here all the way to the UK, we spend so much money training them, yet a lot of them do not serve us. They run to the UK and America for greener pastures. You see, it is easy to say some of these things, but shall we sit back and diagnose the problem? What is the problem? It all points back to one thing: patriotism. Patriotism. Now, when you patronize made in Ghana goods, it's not because they are the best, but you are seeing them to be the best as it stands right now, to encourage the producer to be able to match up to international standards as to support them. It's like when you start to feed a child with liquid food, you are hoping that they would grow to enjoy in solid food, and then they would feed themselves. But in this country, no. We use the same yardstick that we measure American goods to measure Ghanaian products. Meanwhile, America has tasted democracy several hundreds of years, long before Ghana came into the picture. My brother, my sister, and if Ghana was the very first to gain independence right on this side of the continent, then you must know that the rest of the countries are very, very teething, very infantile at this point. Why is Blakk Rasta being so verbose this morning? May I tell you something? Hear me now. All these doctors running to America and England is very sad. Patriotism is the cause. But again, we have dirty governments who are not ready to look at the interest of the people. They are looking at their own egos. Instead of looking at how they can march the country forward, they are thinking about how they can win the next election. They are thinking about the stooges to put in position so that these stooges will help them win the next election. They are busily looking at how they can steal the next election when they should be looking at how they can give glory to this nation. If I am wrong, tell me that I'm wrong. Chebihini has spoken nothing but the truth. But can I also come down and look at this? We live in a country where our heroes are not even respected. Ghanaian doctors, a lot of them are becoming drunkards. My brother, my sister, drunks. Out of frustration. Their pay is nothing to write home about. They go through a rigorous training, yet they are given salaries as if they were beggars on the streets of Nima. It's sad. A lot of them have become drunks. A lot of them have been so frustrated. And sometimes, because they lack patriotism, they think that the country is not an option, so they leave. My brother, my sister, how many of us even go under some kind of training, and after our training period, we don't even want to sign the bonds to stay in the country and work? No, we leave the country, even if we sign those bonds. They pay to train us, and we run out of this country and serve other people. This is slavery. But because this is a nation that does not teach civics to its people, does not teach common sense to its people, the people are always enslaved. Colonialism is the option. And it hurts me so terribly bad. It's sad, my brother. Chebihini has said nothing but the truth. In our country, we do not even value our heroes. Those that break their backs to make sure that the country is on a forward motion. We rather reward people who are retrogressing us, who are a bane to our development. We jail the small thieves, and the bigger ones walk free. My brother, my sister, that is what nation this one is. So a lot of people get frustrated. And if there was a visa to Mars, a lot of people will be going there and even to Jupiter. But again, to Chebi Hine, with all respect, still talking about our heroes. Recently, there was a graveyard that belonged to royals. And under your watch, they grazed down the whole graveyard and then they planted a filling station there. Royals, people who held the gates for Chebi to stand strong today. You grazed it all. You didn't care about the achievements and the contribution. If I were a member of the royal family, I would fear to even contribute anything. After all, one day, you will graze my graveyard. I must apologize. We started late. We've tackled only one story. But that is okay. We shall do more. Eric Mawenag is in the house. He's wearing a pink shirt. I promise.